I caught a guy being a parrot, pretending to be a teacher. Watch.
Is the eradication of the biolabs that are controlled by the Khazarian mafia. And by that, we also include.
He's saying that Russia invaded Ukraine because of biolabs. That's not why Russia invaded Ukraine. He's getting this from, I guess you call Magno neocons and shit. It's people who actually support what Israel is doing, but they want to do it themselves, and they don't want to give Israel money. But they're also part of the same group too, who also support Israel and give them money. But this guy is so fucking stupid, he doesn't realize it. Super religious person who thinks the Bible is all true stories. And this is put out by a black dude. We woke now. Probably trying to convince black folks that the Bible stories are real. None of the Bible stories are real, people. None of them. They don't stand up to history. And this video does a good job showing how the Jews from Europe had no ancestry to the Middle East or Africa. They're actually a mixture of Mongolians and Turks. But then he gets into the Trump realm, and I know this guy's pushing for Trump. And here's what drives me crazy about these people, that I know they don't really give a fuck about the Palestinians. They will push that Trump is the savior, blah blah blah. You want to do this, what Biden does. Trump was doing exactly what Biden was doing. Hell, Trump made it possible for Israel to do that shit. And honestly, I can't imagine what Israel would be doing if Trump was the president right now. But these guys just claim to be anti-Zionist, but yet they're pushing one of the biggest Zionist presidents of all time.
Fauci, Biden, all of the fuckers in the United States who are also controlled by the Khazarian mafia. And we know.
It doesn't mention one Republican. It'll probably mention like a so-called rhino. But it's like you see them all the time. Like anytime they bring up Epstein, it's only have to do with Democrats. They never bring up Epstein's connections with the Republicans. Both sides were doing it. These are the same Republicans who, if you talk about that scandal that hit in the 80s where Republicans were sleeping with underage boys, they'll call that whole conspiracy and everything. But anything to do with Democrats, they support it. They're hypocrites. They're no different than the Zionist people. No different.
That they all have huge bank accounts here. And look at how Zelensky, the head of
again, their bank accounts from Europe and U.S. because the U.S. and Europe want to make Russia weaker. They want to take control of the resources. That's what U.S. and Europe, Western Europe, actually does. They go around the world trying to do that shit. Russia and China are trying to do the opposite, where they're actually good and honest about trading. Instead of aiding a country that's unwinnable, why not just do it the right way?
Ukraine as a nation it has got this big, huge $34 million villa over here in Florida. So what's he doing? Planning on bugging out when it gets too cold there?
See, we do that with a lot of dictators, especially in Latin America. There's a lot of former Latin American dictators who live in the U.S. We do that all over the world. We do that in Africa. We do that in Asia. All over the goddamn place. Whenever they fail, their families come back to the U.S. Hell, we did with the Bin Ladens.
Anyway, it's all interconnected, right? And so we're entering a period of war here. We're in a period of war now. We've been in a period.
You see, we're entering a period where when is the U.S. not attacking countries? See, it was never a big deal when we did it to Iraq. We did it to Syria, to Libya. These white dudes only cared when it was Ukraine shit. you know, probably because they believe that Russia got Trump elected. Which Russia didn't have nothing to do with that. That was just people who were tired of the bullshit, and Trump came off as somebody who might say fuck both sides, but really he was the swamp.
War all my life, since 1963 in the assassination of Kennedy. And so we've got
Kennedy, who supported the Vietnam War, by the way. Kennedy was a war criminal too. He just wasn't overdoing it. What really got him killed probably was over Israel. He wanted to know about the nuclear bombs. He didn't think Israel should have nukes.
We're in a period of war here that's developing, and as I had forecast months back, the language is bursting out. Now, our war language is going to be tainted by the other side because they're trying to gin it up as a nation-state war. Oh, evil Russians. And that's not it. Now we've got a case here that is really bizarre for the mainstream media, for the powers that be, because you've got a lot of people in the United States saying, yay, Putin, and he's supposed to be the enemy according to our powers that be.
See, right there, he's talking truth. But the whole thing is about weakening Russia. They want to do to Russia what we done to Libya, basically. Turn it into a failed state, make it weak, give it politicians who are easily bought and sold. That's what it's really all about, people. It's always been about that. There's a book called Economic Hate Man, or former CIA agent talks about what he used to do. But he basically blew the whistle on that shit. But all it is a proxy war in Ukraine, and Ukraine's getting their ass kicked by the Russians badly right now, and the media is finally admitting to it. Israel's getting their ass kicked right now by Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis. U.S. has already started a war with the Houthis, and the Saudi Arabians couldn't defeat the Houthis, and they tried to do it for 17 years with U.S. military weapons. But that's the same story everywhere in the world. Only reason they were successful in America is because they had so many diseases. The diseases wiped out so many people. But even now, there's a comeback of immigrants, especially because the U.S. is causing so much trouble in the global South in America. You got all these migrants coming up, and these migrants are basically indigenous Americans, to be honest. And there's some mixtures of blacks who were born in Americas and Haiti. But they're all coming here, and it's scaring the white folks because they will outbreed the whites here in the USA and in Canada. And this land will go back to the way it was. That's the way it's always going to be. Because brown, which is, I'm talking about black folks, is the original. Is the original. It's going to go back to that no matter what. Brown and black. And people always think like you gotta look like from Africa to be brown and black. It's not. Brown and black, brown and black, brown and black. All this, and then if you show America, it's the same thing. The global South has more people. Hell, China and India, starting from Iran to here, most people in the world live between those. And you got all these people here and all these people here who outnumber all these people here. Evolution, baby.